Now welcome to another edition of News from Naboo with Thor's Lightning Takes. And let's get right to the news.
First up, we have confirmation, of course, that episodes 1 through 4 are available for your listening pleasure if you're a soundtrack person.
Oh, you mean of the Ahsoka soundtrack?
Of course. Next, and I didn't even know this was a thing, TV Line does Performer of the Week.
What is TV Line?
A website about TV.
All right.
And Hayden Christensen got an honorable mention.
Only honorable? Who beat him?
It's for one episode.
Who beat him? We can hunt them down.
Don't mess with Netflix.
Why?
Because that's where the winner comes from.
Oh.
Haha. No, but Hayden Christensen did get an honorable mention because his performance in last week's Ahsoka was phenomenal.
And we don't consider this spoilers anymore. I've seen it all over TV, like commercials. Are showing
Everywhere.
Ahsoka and Anakin fighting, so you haven't seen it and you haven't had it spoiled. I'm sorry, but at this point, it's everywhere.
It's your own fault at this point, I guess.
Ooh.
If you opened your eyes or had your ears
if you've looked at anything online,
Yeah.
on television, talked to friends who know Star Wars, you've
Talk to
probably
friends who
heard
don't know Star Wars.
Yeah, you've probably
because they
been
know
on
too.
Twitter or X or whatever we call it today.
Turned your phone on.
Yep.
Then
Smoke
you know.
signals in the sky saying Anakin's back. It's everywhere.
Here's an interesting question for you. What do you think next week, or I should say this week's episode of Ahsoka will hold? Do you think Ahsoka will be absent from the episode? Perhaps showing us the baddie's point of view and going to find Thrawn, following Sabine's trail.
Probably, and then you're going to have the people who are going to be upset because this is the Ahsoka series and we don't want an episode without Ahsoka. But I'm fine if it's very relevant to finding Thrawn and Ezra, right? Because that's the whole premise or point of the show.
Right.
Plus, if our villains can have a little bit of the spotlight and we can learn a little bit more about what's motivating some of them.
I mean, during this travel scene, because you've said it might take us some time to get there, we could get Balon
some Balon backstory?
maybe bearing a little bit of his soul to Sabine. Maybe talking about how some of their...
Maybe we're not so different after all kind of speeches. We see those a lot.
Well, it could be because of the fact that she lost her whole family to the Night of a Thousand Tears.
Yeah.
Kind of had to forge a family, and he lost his whole family, his Jedi Order family, to Order 66, and then had to grab a Padawan and start anew.
Yeah. He's going to turn her to the dark side.
No, I think that I don't know if he's exactly
kidding.
dark side either.
Not exactly,
He's
no.
doing everything he's doing for the sake of the greater good. It's just, what does good mean to him?
Well, he's kind of said there's some in it for him too, right?
Power.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Thank you. No, I'm curious how much Ahsoka will be in the next episode of Ahsoka.
It's not going to surprise me.
She's in the travel sequence right now. Meanwhile, Sabine is with all of the people who might have a story to tell.
Yeah, because we will be in the whale.
Mm-hmm. She'll be in the whale, but Sabine will be on the Eye of Sion.
Yeah, which seems more interesting than being in the whale.
So does this mean we'll see Thrawn this episode? Will they arrive? Will we see him? Will we see Ezra?
Here's my guess. We see Thrawn at the bitter end.
I don't know.
That's how it ends.
I think they're going to get there pretty quick. I don't think Dave's going to do an entire episode after exposition to slow his pace down after we had such a phenomenal last episode.
He shouldn't.
He should keep things a-rolling.
He should give us Thrawn pretty quickly this week. I think that would be the smartest thing to do.
Absolutely.
But I don't think I think we get Thrawn at the bitter end of this episode.
Do you think we get Ezra first?
No. I don't think we get Ezra to the final episode.
I think you're wrong on that. I think we're going to get Ezra before the final episode.
No. Final episode.
Balin made a promise.
Yeah. To find him eventually. Well, to find him eventually. I mean, I don't know if his promise is as airtight as like, we're going to do everything we can to get Ezra. I think it's more of like, hey, you give me that map, I'll give you the chance to find Ezra. Fair and square.
Okay.
The question is, like, do they know where Thrawn is? I mean, it's one thing to say he's in this other galaxy.
Galaxies are still big, right?
Big is an understatement. Like, the human brain cannot comprehend how big our Milky Way galaxy is. Mm-hmm. It's just that big.
They just assume that they'll get there and they'll show up where Thrawn did, is what they're assuming. Yes. And that might be the MacGuffin that we get. Yeah,
it's going to be weird when they show up and it's like, oh yeah, this just happened to be where Thrawn's been hanging out the whole time. Like,
ta-da!
Well, I mean... Yes and no, because
Ahsoka
the Purrgil
has a better chance of getting there than the right way because she's coming via Purrgil, which is how they got there.
Yeah, so it stands to reason that the Purrgil have one location they kind of go to and then maybe disperse throughout the galaxy. We don't know what they do once they get there. But it seems like they have one place in the Star Wars galaxy where they kind of
their hyperspace hub?
Yeah, the hyperspace hub. Yeah, it's like a train station. It's a Purrgil station. Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing they have something like that on the other side. It's still going to be weird that like Thrawn is just like, hey, I've been waiting here for your Purrgil or your Eye of Sion to show up.
No, I think I'm really split if next episode we're just going to get a lot of Baylan, Shin, and possibly Thrawn, or if we're going to bring in the Ezra. I think you've got to bring in Ezra and Thrawn now.
You could go other perspective, right? Like we could get a curveball here. We could get what happened right after they arrived.
It could get a flashback sequence of what happened when Thrawn and Ezra arrived, and then kind of what they've been doing since, and then the ship shows up and.
Yeah, you could give us 45 minutes of like showing up, some key moments, and then some kind of story between them that gets us up to speed on where they are now or what's going on with them now. I think that would be cool, but I don't think they're going to do that.
No, I think that's too much in the wrong direction in a way.
Yeah.
I think he has to keep following the characters. He can't just all of a sudden split to a new perspective.
It'd be like going to Coruscant in episode 3 of The Mandalorian and doing a whole episode about like Dr. Pershing or something.
At least this one would be a lot more relevant.
Yeah, well, the Pershing stuff was relevant. I liked that episode.
Oh, I know. I liked it too. It just didn't fit in with the rest of the series.
No.
And they can't make that mistake here.
No, but that would be more relevant if you did give us the whole perspective, the whole timeline of what they've been up to for 10 years.
I'm still curious if Leia will get in trouble for helping Hera in the last episode, for kind of covering for her.
Maybe. Probably not.
Probably not.
That was more of an Easter egg, let's be honest, too. And it is Leia. Leia's going to do what Leia does.
All right, should we move on to new this week in Star Wars, etc.? You don't have to tap me while you're doing it.
I do.
All right, so Tuesday, episode 6 of Ahsoka. Woo! Runtime is about 40 minutes.
Oh, not a lot of time for the Ezra Thrawn story.
Not as much as we'd hoped. Wednesday, we have comics, Bounty Hunters 38, and we're also continuing Dark Droids with D-Squad number 1.
Mm-hmm.
You're so excited.
Very much.
Thursday, we're going to have a voice chat on the Discord server, 8 p.m. Central Time. We will be talking about Ahsoka and wherever the night leaves. I think they were chatting long after we went to bed last time. It was like 3 a.m. Central when they they finally gave it all.
I made it around the 3.5 to 4 hour mark, and that's my tap out point.
I'd already gone to bed because I worked the next day. But if you care to join the chat, it is available for anyone who is a Patreon supporter. Just go on over. $1 gets you access to our Discord server and all of the chaos there within. Friday, Hasbro PulseCon will be kicking off at 10 a.m. Central Time. They're going to be covering new figures, we assume new figures, for Star Wars, Marvel Legends, Transformers, Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, Magic the Gathering, and Dungeons & Dragons.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a lot of stuff.
Maybe we'll finally get some Baylan and Shin action figure announcement.
My guess is Baylan, Shin, Ahsoka the White, and maybe something else.
A Purgle, life size. It's the next HasLab.
Purgle HasLab, I'm in.
HasLab Purgle.
I don't care the price. I don't care if it's $5,000. I'm getting me a life-size Purgle. Well, not life-size.
Life-size.
In scale. A life-size. All right, I'd pay whatever price for a life-size Purgle. Throw it in the backyard. The neighbors will love it.
Oh, yeah, no.
We don't have, close neighbors anyway. They wouldn't care.
All right, back to speaking on the Discord aspect of things for patrons. We are getting started with the who is the best original live-action Disney Plus character in Star Wars. So far, we do have a special channel open for that. We're just looking to finish out any names I may have missed. I already did get some suggestions. Thank you for those names. Hopefully in a week or so, after I finish compiling the list, I'm going to get the bracket system set up, and we are going to start the voting, which will include people being able to vote on the videos, and we're going to count them off. It'll be fun.
Are we doing a polls, or what are we doing?
Probably a poll type thing, poll bracket type thing. We'll figure it out.
All right.
Once I have a complete list of names, because I already found I missed a couple, and I'm including droids. I know people were not happy I didn't.
No.
I have someone who's actually very upset that I'm not including Cobb Vanth, but he was in Aftermath, and those are the rules. It has to be original live-action Disney Plus.
Yeah. Yeah, they put Cobb in
Which excludes
Aftermath.
Half the cast of Ahsoka. Her list is very short right now.
Yeah, it's Baylan and Shin, right?
And Marok. And I currently have...
Something tells me Marok is not going to win that.
I currently have Morgan Elspeth on the list for Ahsoka. I know she premiered in Mandalorian, but she's actually getting character development in this show, I guess.
So you just make up your own rules?
It might be the show that the character...
One could ask.
...belongs in, such as Fennec Shand was in one episode of Mando, but she was in the entire book of Boba Fett.
One could ask about Cobb Vanth.
What could one ask about Cobb Vanth?
They could ask... I mean, in Aftermath, he is in a few interlude chapters. He's not really a main focus of the book.
But he still premiered there in a book.
All right.
Not in The Mandalorian.
Well, then
Not in live action.
You can't have Chrysanthemum then
He's not on the list.
I'm just saying, like, we're missing some real gems there.
What? You can vote for the Mod Kids.
I don't think anybody's going to vote for the Mod Kids.
For the Book of Boba Fett, I currently have the Back to Tank listed as a character with...
We can't get Cobb Vanth, but we can get Back to Tank?
That's kind of a joke. I'll probably take it off the actual polling list. It's just on there for laughs.
Because you know it'll win.
Would win.
Just ask him all about Admiral Blue Jeans guy winning the poll.
He can't go in this poll either because...
Well, he first premiered, though.
We'll see.
No, that would be...
He's not really a character.
He's not really there.
He's not in the credits of the show, so...
Blue Jeans guy. Anyway, I think that's all we got for this time. Now it's your turn. Take to the comments below. Tell us what you think of any and all of today's news. And let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.